scientific dialogues continued, and they covered molecular biology and genetics.
What I'm going to talk about essentially is how parents alter the activity of genes in the brain and how that influences the way their children respond to stress. And in particular, what I'd like to talk about, and that component that may be somewhat new, is how it is that the influence of parents can persist potentially over the entire lifespan. The idea is that, as I mentioned, parental care alters the activity of genes in the brain and that these effects are very specific. And the second component of this, these parental effects actually involve a form of plasticity. But this plasticity is different. It doesn't involve connections between neurons. The modifications actually occur at the level of the gene itself, and that there is an organization of the chemical environment in which the gene operates, and that is the effect that then sustains itself over the lifespan.
They began to collaborate.
And what was so impressive, I think, was the overlay between Buddhist philosophy and cognitive behavioral therapy. And what I wanted to do was to try to bring that into a particular context. What we're understanding is that many forms of illness and disease is shaped first by events that occur early in life, and second, it is shaped by various forms of family experience. And I'd like yourself and members of the audience to simply imagine life as a child growing up in a family with drug abuse, unemployment, financial stress, and physical and sexual abuse. And emotionally, they then become people who are very sensitive to threat. For these children, their anger is not wrong. It is very adaptive. We've created an environment in which the child must normally be angry. And one of the problems that we face in medicine, and particularly in psychiatry, is how do we reach out to those children? How do we deal with that form of anger?
Of course, related to this is the question which His Holiness was saying that he has been often asking and interested, that as a result of brain changes at the brain level, there is a manifestation of changes at the psychological and emotional level. Yes, that's uncontentious. But can one also imagine the reversal process, where as a result of a thought process, change in the thought process, one could see a change on the brain level as well?
The optimism here is that these can occur, and that the dialogue involved in cognitive behavioral therapy or in Buddhist philosophy there is the prospect of changing at the level of the gene itself. There is the prospect.
I think a lot of our problem not necessarily created by technology itself, but anger, hatred, fear